It's a lovely good evening and welcome to Camnet TV Main News. To present, my name is Jeffrey Ziambo. Top stories in the news: defiance of COVID-19 guidelines by bar owners, ANNOY health authorities. Fear grips KALINGA-LINGA welders who are at the brink of losing their livelihood. Government approach to youth empowerment condemned. And in international news, Somalia's PUNTLAND region executes 21 AL-SHABAB fighters. And in sports news, NKANA survives relegation as FAZ awards KALAMPA 3 points.
Zambia has embarked on an economic journey for individual financial emancipation, empowering its citizens through land acquisition and developing the nation through agriculture. This time, Zambians are coming together, taking it upon themselves with the help of government to develop this great nation by taking individual responsibility and ownership of this great nation. The economic revolution has started. There are thousands of Zambians with a can-do mindset who are resolute, unstoppable, full of confidence and conviction that Zambia's set time of favor for development is now. Don't be left out. This could be the time you have been waiting for. Camnet Television, in conjunction with the United Agrivision Consultancy Limited, will be hosting a national conference on becoming a millionaire through agriculture. Date: 1st October and 2nd October 2021. Charges: 750 kwacha per person per day, that includes lunch. A limited number of participants through Zoom have also been reserved. You can also be part of the conference from the comfort of your home by registering online via Zoom, joining the people who were born for greatness. Charges for participation via Zoom are only 300 kwacha per person. Time: 0730 hours to 17 hours. Registration and confirmation of attendance will take place on the 29th of September 2021. Time: 14 hours to 17 hours. Venue: the Healing Word Ministries International, the home of Camnet Television in Abex Hill, Kabulonga Road, Lusaka.
Hello once again, and now the news in detail. A humanitarian organization has charged that it is high time women gather the courage and start reporting their abusive spouses to the relevant authorities in order to reduce gender-based violence cases among women to zero. The Concerned Citizens of Justice and Human Rights has disclosed that the 33-year-old woman who was last week Saturday battered badly by her husband and left with a blind eye is currently undergoing treatment and counseling. Speaking to Camnet TV, the organization's director, Richard Nkua, has also confirmed that the husband, Lazarus Chuma, has been detained and is currently at Los Angeles Police Station, waiting to appear before court soon. Miriam Kayemba reports.
Mary Muwanga first appeared on Camnet TV last week Saturday, narrating a story of how the man she was married to for the past 7 years left her with almost a blind eye.
Kuikala na bena tatuikala buli dingi nga bafuma pala bako batina kunchito mbala mshaka kufini no mwana n'ensala nga bafuma ko ensala ko tuikala tapala tine ba mane baze ko wala kufuma kufini no mukazi dole fo bala bakabwera manda sofa na ishire bakonka pakashuko pakaso ngende kwa ko fya kule fya mwana mali tatwalire so kashushi bali babiri no mwana kashuko so for nice angela kashikaten ko mwana sisi na mwana yenshuka mwana ndetinjuka lefini no mwana so nice pa no mistake na panta bwalo bwa bash so inisha woni na panta koso white ka yo mwana kashino ku image kashirikeni mumya mukashunte tare mukunta pana fuba dan video ku makungu so fasa bula ka bola ka puti ko kusanda sa kumunzi.
Mary's case is one of the many cases in Zambia. The 33-year-old, who was first hesitant to press charges on her husband when he first allegedly stabbed her with a knife on her left side of her leg, gathered the courage with the help of Concerned Citizens for Justice and Human Rights, an organization based in Kanyama in selected parts of the country whose aim is to address such issues, among others. In an interview with Camnet TV this morning, the organization has confirmed that the husband has been detained and is currently in police custody at Kanyama, Los Angeles Police Station, and he will appear before the courts of law soon. The organization has also disclosed that the woman is currently undergoing treatment and will ensure that she goes through counseling as well. The organization has further disclosed that the only support they can render to this woman is to provide foodstuff and nothing else.
Over a lady was battered by the husband. We managed to apprehend the culprit and surrendered him to the police. And right now, as we speak, he is still in custody. The police also, they have taken keen interest over the same matter because this is not the first time when he's doing that to the wife. So as organization, we are very much happy because the police also, we are working hand in hand and they have done a commendable job. Very soon, I think, we are able to hear something. Let him appear before the court of law so that the justice can prevail. The condition is not okay. The eye is still not okay. Right now, she's just alone with the children, and she's being taken care of by the landlord. As an organization, yes, we have the plans for her. Although we have got limited resources, the only thing we can do is buying foodstuffs. That's all. No any other things that we can do.
Now, this unemployed woman is forced to find means and ways on how to survive rather than depending on the man she has sent to jail. Over the past years, cases of abuse among women and girls have more than doubled. Such cases should be handled by the courts, but in reality, out-of-court settlements are the norms where the victim voices are ignored. Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Operation Young Vote has expressed displeasure over government's decision to continue empowering youths with buses without setting up proper structures to deal with the empowerment initiatives. Association Executive Director Ges Nyirenda says it is disappointing to see government giving out 8 new ROSA buses to cooperatives in Lusaka without a proper structure on how the resources spent will be recovered. Mr. Nyirenda says government has failed to give account of what has happened to the 24 Haiga buses that were in 2016 given to youths and how it intends to pay back the resources. We have details in the following report.
March 2016, government signed a memorandum of understanding with Haiga Bus Company and the Public and Private Bus Drivers Association of Zambia to enable bus drivers to acquire buses on hire purchase. The empowerment program was a loan scheme for the Public and Private Bus Drivers Association where they were expected to pay back the money within a 3-year period. To that effect, 25 Haiga buses purchased at a higher cost were given to the said youths, which to date no one knows who benefited from these buses. And in 2018, the then Youth and Sports Minister Moses Mawere announced the withdrawal of the buses from the Public and Private Drivers Association of Zambia on grounds that the vehicles were not benefiting the intended beneficiaries. According to Mr. Mawere, the project was faced with a number of challenges, among them the non-repayment of this empowerment and that the youths who were supposed to benefit from the buses did not benefit. This now begs for answers such as what happened to the 24 buses and where is the money that was made from these buses. Additionally, who is going to pay for the loan that government got to buy these buses and what will happen next now that the 3-year agreement government made with Haiga Bus Company has ended without government repaying all the money. And as though the lessons are not enough, on 24th June 2021, government handed over 8 ROSA buses to 8 youth cooperatives in Chawama constituency.
It is my honor and pleasure to welcome you all to this joyous occasion where we are handing over 8 ROSA buses today to 8 Chawama youth cooperatives. Ladies and gentlemen,
Operations Young Vote Executive Director Ges Nyirenda has expressed disappointment at this gesture where he says empowerments must be done under structure to ensure that funds are well utilized.
What we would like to see is a kind of empowerment, like I said, that is institutionalized, a kind of empowerment that is done under structures. What do we mean when we say this? And we have examples of empowerment that has lamentably failed in this country. the President of the Republic of Zambia is on record as having complained and lamented that government has failed to actually, get back some of the monies that were given to young people for empowerment. And this is basically because it is done haphazardly, it is done outside structures, it is done for appeasement, it is done for political expedience. And
Mr. Nyarenda adds that there is no way government can continue to invest resources in the same kind of empowerment that has continued to drain the coffers of government without producing any results for the sake of wowing electorates.
We have higher buses that were given to the youth. We don't know which youth benefited in those higher buses that were given at first. We came on TV, we came in the media, and government has been lamenting as having failed to get back those loans or whatever accruement came from the higher buses. We need people to be accountable, and now we have gotten to another area or level where we are again issuing these trucks, these buses, and so on and so forth.
He adds that empowerment should be centered on empowering people and recovering the resources so that others can benefit as well.
The idea should be the other persons should be able to benefit. It must be a revolving fund. If one gets a bus or gets a truck, they must be able to pay back so that others can get money or can get other kinds of items that money will be able to buy. Unlike giving people a once-off activity and it ends there and we can't recover our money. That is our concern.
Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Welders in Zambia's capital, Lusaka, in Munali's constituency's KALINGA-LINGA compound, has expressed worry over their livelihoods as the future of their businesses is uncertain as their trading spaces are being taken up by the wealthy. The welders told Camnet TV News that some people, mostly of foreign origin, have bought off the houses along the road, hence soon they will have nowhere to trade from. They are concerned that it will be difficult to make progress, thus calling on the government to come to their aid by empowering them with land and capital to commercialize their businesses. Patrick Soko reports.
The welders of KALINGA-LINGA are known for their magnificent works. Development activists have acknowledged their talent and effort and shared ideas on how they can be supported under the industrialization agenda to trade on a large scale for local and foreign markets.
You know how much that can be a whole economy. We can begin to export gas because they're teaching themselves. You know that, but it is difficult. It's unsafe environment on the side of the road. Nobody teaches them basic business principles. So if you say that the empowerment government had put money together and opened an industrial yard where all the welders are, and we are all going to buy gates, do you know that KALINGA-LINGA will change? All the townships will change. You see, but we are thinking that we are going to give the chief cadre in KALINGA-LINGA 500,000 kwacha and say we've empowered him.
But their existence is under threat owing to the commercialization of the area, as people with money, mostly those of foreign origin, are taking up the space which they utilize for their business. Soon it will remain a memory that they existed. They are concerned that their source of livelihood will be curtailed.
As for now, a small scale industry to be future. To be future. Because you want places are is a manumba chair but for now, like Mangapana Panaguri 2013. So anytime we know can change as a compound, it's put up a vutica, one be vutica, compound, when I was a manuma. So Manga is at Kalangana, many number of dollar welding in the number of 2001, from the number of which is name fun. But the Kuchoka Manga is a time to figure out happening about to be future. Because of Monta Punza and she was saying that when I come compound to my road, you place a papa, so Kalangana, oh, not people community. It's like a man wanted to blocking a government is that Pangere future.
They do hear about the Youth Empowerment Fund, but they feel the program is too politicized. Hence, people with viable projects are sidelined.
The government, I mean, it pass a place, and then what pass my conditions, my capitals, maybe not pass a drum about same materials. Then I'm what Juam was still good, sir. Juam, because in drama, I think I attempted and drama, I'm not born up. But Manga is for the research materials. place chepamushe, malight yalipo, machine yali, equipment chena materials vonso watipasa. And then watipasa chema connect say ngati mugulisa zambo jwa mu drama so but not na every jamanga tokumangirira ntampa mugozo ya by no 5 years no 2 years but ngati ngati pase time kupanga maona maneli kuli ma talent is wambili but tibia my equipment ma machines ya nzero tijibi ni amene ya ngono wengesa mkati ni amene ya alipo che ngono machines kuli ma bending machine welding machine nafunika ma smart job manga ni pambili vatipanga manga ma kitchen unit tipanga ma gates tipanga ma window frames tipanga ma tank stand tipanga ma bed tipanga. But
as politicians lobby for votes ahead of the August 12 general elections, they need to reflect on how they will make sure that such activities are commercialized for the good of the nation. Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
A social scientist, Innocent Kolala, has observed that door-to-door campaigns are more effective compared to rallies as they enable candidates to understand the needs of the people. Speaking with Camnet TV News, Mr. Kolala urged the Electoral Commission to uphold its decision to cancel rallies as a mitigating measure against the COVID-19. Mr. Kolala explains that door-to-door campaigns, especially in rural areas, must be encouraged. He narrates that villages have different needs, hence it would be important for people aspiring to be leaders to understand people's aspirations. He says door-to-door campaigns provide an opportunity for candidates to explain to the people how they intend to resolve their challenges, as opposed to political rhetoric mostly witnessed during rallies.
That when they are holding the rally, they are going to call maybe 3 words at a certain point. The people from that ward and this ward and this ward, they are saying we are going to meet here, and that's where the leaders, they are going to talk to these people. Are you sure everyone in these wards, all the members in these villages, they have traveled to come and listen to the messages of hope by these politicians? The answer is no. Now, what does it entail, a door-to-door campaign? A door-to-door campaign, the advantage is that they will be visiting almost all the villages, and each and every village, it has got its own needs. The need for this village is not the same need for the next village. For example, in this village we have boreholes, but we do not have a school, or we do not have a clinic. Whilst in the next village they have a clinic, but they have no borehole. When me as a councillor, me as a council chairperson or a member of parliament, I meet these people in this village, I'll be able to understand my constituency, my constituency's problems in full, because I'll be going from village to village and I'm going to know the problems which each and every village is being entangled with, as unlike the issue of the rallies. But it's provided for in the law. Where if they feel like, because those are just modalities which they are supposed to use, you can use either through the electronic media, you start sending, you campaign through social media, you can campaign through the radio, you can campaign through the television, you can campaign through using pamphlets, using flyers, you can campaign using all sorts of means of campaign. So rally.
The Federation of Free Trade Unions of Zambia, FFTUZ, has urged the church to emulate the Catholic Church that has discouraged campaigns in the church. The Catholic Church in Zambia banned politicians from using the pulpit to deliver their political campaigns. FFTUZ President Chingatim Siska says the church plays a unifying role, adding that it is not wise to turn them into campaign grounds for politicians. He says the church must continue to deliver the message of peace and unity and not as platforms for securing votes.
A church is not a political field where politicians should go and sell themselves, you know, because there are a lot of members from different political parties or being affiliated to different political parties, as it were. So again, it's a matter of principle, you know, and what the Catholic Church has done is very good, and it should be imitated by other churches where politicians shouldn't be allowed to go and sell themselves in churches. If they are there to worship, if they are there to serve God, there is no problem. And again, that is the way to go, where we shouldn't allow politicians to be using the churches. If they are able to fellowship at Catholic or any other church, let them go ahead and do it. other than making those political, using the church as political field or rallies where they can sell themselves. It's a good move, and we want to commend the Catholic for that.
A political activist has called for a name and shame campaign of individuals who are at the forefront of using tribalism as a campaign tool. Speaking to Camnet News, Obet Namalongo says during this national mourning period and beyond, there is a need to emulate Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, who united us as Zambians. He says in honor of Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, the church should cancel those championing tribalism. He adds that elections must be a battle of ideas and must never be reduced to a battle of tribalism. Mr. Namalongo says all well-meaning Zambians should rise against this culture and oppose tribalism for the safety of our future generation.
Honor of Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, the church should cancel those championing tribalism. Let us begin to name, shame individuals who are in forefront of using tribalism as a campaigning tool. People like Chishimba Kambwili, a PF member, especially during this national mourning period and beyond. We need to emulate Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, who united us Zambians. 2021 should be a battle of ideas, and elections must never be reduced to a battle of tribalism. All well-meaning Zambians should raise against this culture and oppose tribalism for the safety of our future generation.
Governance activist Louis Mwape has charged that there is need for the country to have professional people joining the political fraternity to avoid the country being led by low-level caliber people. In an interview with Camnet TV, Mr. Mwape regrets that the majority of politicians have turned out to be undecided in the things they do, as seen from those defecting from one political party to another because they have not been adopted by the party or noticed that they are not popular, hence choose a popular party. He explains that it is important that all political players, including the young ones who are joining politics, have principles.
We need to ensure that we need to bring on board a lot of youth people and a lot of professionals need to join politics, because if we want to change the economy, the social and cultural setup of this country, we need people who apply themselves to thinking. We just complain that we are electing people who have no morals, who have no integrity, whose decision making is very compromised, simply because people out there, the young people, the professionals, have left this space for people that cannot decide properly. So this must be a call to all of us that have just been speaking from outside. Let's join spaces that are where we can make decisions that can affect the people. Otherwise, this country, if we leave it in this way, we are going to allow low-level and low-caliber people to lead us as ministers for Lusaka, as ministers for Copperbelt, as ministers, even as mayors. So let's move away from this kind of mediocre and ensure that the right people begin to join politics.
You're watching Camnet TV, not just another channel. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more news. Stay tuned.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962 642 490 or email jnbanda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
President Edgar Chagwa Lungu and the Patriotic Front have transformed the transportation sector by facilitating the construction of bus stations around the country. Vote for Edgar Chagwa Lungu and the PF that have brought you change.
At Master Signs, our services range from outdoor, indoor signage such as billboards, banners, 3D light boxes, pylons and neon signs. We are located at plot number 397A, Makeni Road, Lusaka, at Oryx Filling Station. For more details, call us on +260 967 100 090 or +260 966 999 981, or better still, email us at infomastersign@gmail.com. Master Sign, we will make it shine. 2021 has been described as a highly politically charged year. This is because every 5 years the country goes to the polls, and that 5 years elapses with only a few months remaining down to the ballot. The battlefield to appear on the ballot is becoming fertile. A lot of people are expressing interest of appearing on the ballot.
In all this, our interest is to put the duty bearers, the leaders, and those aspiring to task by asking the relevant questions.
If you're an aspiring candidate, be it councillor, mayor or member of parliament, get in touch with us to get yourself on the verdict.
We go beyond speculation in dealing with policy and governance issues. The right questions are asked to help you make a verdict.
For more details, you can call us on 0962 965883, 0979 753010, or email us info@camnettvafrica.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Join us on Camnet TV
every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday and Friday at 17:45 hours
on a new program dubbed The Verdict.
Remember that Camnet TV is not just another channel.
Welcome back. We continue with the news. Opposition New Congress Party President Peter Chanda has accused a named traditional leader in Mufumbe district of hindering government's development by restraining investors who have been allocated title by the government to operate at Kalinga mine. Mr. Chanda told a media briefing in Lusaka Tuesday that there have been what he described as unnecessary delays being caused by the said traditional leader from allowing investors to start operations at Kalinga mine. He reiterates that the district has an opportunity to provide massive employment and contribute to the country's gross domestic product (GDP) through mining activities that will be taking place at Kalinga mine.
We have no problem in any other Zambians, including His Royal Highnesses, to own companies and have shares. But again, to give yourself shares in the company by virtue of the position that you hold, on the basis of the land that you have allocated, I think that also amounts to something. So my call is that I know the issue here where it lies. It's about shares. And these are matters which I strongly believe that other law enforcement agencies should take in interest. Because here is a land being allocated, and then you have a chief having an interest in that particular mining activities that is happening. So the question is, has there been a consensus with all the people, including the Royal Council, in giving the chief having the rights to keep shares on behalf of the people? I think if such concessions can be done, then that is a step in the right direction. But my prayer is this. These matters, especially that we have His Royal Highness at the center, the matter can be resolved amicably and allow development to take place in this area.
The Ministry of Health has expressed displeasure with the owners of bars, taverns, nightclubs, casinos, and patrons who have continued to flout with impunity the directives issued to stem the further spread of COVID-19 in the country. Ministry Permanent Secretary for Technical Services, Dr. Kennedy Malama, notes that the behavior does not reflect the spirit on which COVID-19 can be under control. And Dr. Malama says the country has continued to record a high number of deaths, not only in health facilities, but also in communities, as adduced from the increase in the brought-in dead. Details in the following report.
Ministry of Health says it is not happy with the behavior being exhibited by bars, nightclubs and casinos when it comes to them adhering to the COVID-19 preventive measures outlined by Zambia's Republican President through Secretary to Cabinet Dr. Simon Miti that bars only operate from Friday 18 hours to 22 hours through to Sunday. Bars and Nightclub Owners Association Secretary General Edmond Lufekelo had earlier challenged the decision, saying bars and nightclubs will not stop operating on a daily basis because COVID-19 has equally affected their businesses, adding that stopping daily operations will shut some of their businesses. He argued that the Lusaka City Council has been issuing licenses for liquor store to be trading on a daily basis, despite President Edgar Lungu never directing that bars operate on a daily basis.
As right now, I'm telling the government, this is from our members, they've refused. They've rejected it. And through our various social media channels yesterday, we issued instructions to our members to disregard that statement which appeared yesterday. Even the first time it appeared, government rubbished it as fake news, but we knew it was the truth. And then it came back on our government confirming it. So to us, I think we say we're not going to allow to that. And there's hunger amongst our members. This is a business which is just hand to mouth. There's no savings. There's literally no saving which anyone is to talk about.
And patrols conducted by the Lusaka City Council have indicated that compliance levels among bars, nightclubs, casinos and liquor businesses have remained low. And in a statement issued Sunday, 27th June 2021 by the Ministry of Health Permanent Secretary for Technical Services, Dr. Kennedy Malama, the behavior by the said businesses do not reflect the spirit in which COVID-19 will be brought under control. It has since warned that liquor businesses will only have themselves to blame for the stiffer measures to be implemented, which will have a negative impact on their businesses. And in the last 24 hours, the country recorded 2,537 new confirmed COVID-19 cases out of 10,689 tests conducted, with 55 people dying from the pandemic. The only way to stop the spread of COVID-19 is through masking up correctly and consistently, maintaining physical distance, washing of hands frequently with soap and water or use hand sanitizer, avoid crowded places if possible, particularly super spreader events, or stay at home, and seek medical attention early if any symptoms. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Children's Road Safety Trust Fund National Coordinator Hope Komalo has described Dr. Kenneth Kaunda as a visionary leader who never missed an opportunity to advocate for children's safety on the road. Speaking to Camnet TV News in an interview, Ms. Komalo says Dr. Kaunda advocated for schools and parents to start using school buses for children to move and from school as a safe alternative. She adds that the children will greatly miss him and remember him as a passionate person who always ensured that their safety on the road came first. She has since urged parents and all road users to emulate the principles Dr. Kaunda had when it came to the safety of children on the road.
By the loss of Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, the founding father of the nation. Dr. Kaunda was also a patron for the organization, the Children's Road Safety Trust Fund. And I remember when we approached him to be the patron for this organization, he was very excited. And he said, you know, I really want to work with children and I would really like to advocate for their safety on the road, because in those days we used to have a lot of children being hit on the way to and from school, and also we had a lot of accidents that would link to the fact that we had a lot of parents rushing to and from work to go and pick up children. I would like to say that the children of Zambia will miss Dr. Kaunda, and they've lost a visionary leader who never missed an opportunity to advocate for the safety of children on the road.
The Council of Churches in Zambia, CCZ, says it has received with deep sorrow the news on the passing of Father Kennedy Seketa. CCZ General Secretary Father Emmanuel Chikoya says that Father Seketa was the incoming General Secretary for the Zambia Conference of Catholic Bishops, ZCCB, who was scheduled to assume office on the 1st of July, but unfortunately passed away on Friday, the 25th of June, 2021. Father Chikoya says the Council finds it hard to believe the loss of a selfless, peace-loving and dedicated theologian whose contribution will be greatly remembered both in the Catholic Church and the nation at large. He says the demise of Father Seketa has left a huge gap that can never be covered.
Received with deep sorrow the news of the passing on of the incoming Secretary General for the Zambia Conference of Catholic Bishops, Very Reverend Father Kennedy Seketa, who was scheduled to assume office on 1st July but unfortunately passed on Friday, 25th June 2021. On behalf of the Council, we find it hard to believe the loss of a selfless, peace-loving and dedicated theologian whose contribution will be greatly remembered both in the Catholic Church and the nation at large. Surely the demise of Father Seketa has left a huge gap. Hard as it may be to receive this news, we sincerely send our heartfelt condolences to the family, the Archdiocese of Kasama, relatives, friends, and ZCCB, and we extend our prayers of hope and strength during this challenging time. The Lord surely gives, and now He has taken our very own. Praise be to God. Although life may not give us an opportunity to have all our questions answered, one thing is certain, according to the word of God, that all things work together for the good of those that believe and trust in God. We therefore encourage the bereaved family to find comfort in God as they come to terms with the passing on of the servant of God.
The Zambia Public Relations Association, ZAPRA, is saddened at the death of Zambia Institute of Marketing President Mr. Kenneth Sinkamba due to COVID-19. ZAPRA President Irene Chipili says the late Mr. Sinkamba's demise is a huge loss to the marketing fraternity in the country. Mrs. Chipili says the deceased contributed immensely to the industry as a fellow of ZIM and an accomplished senior marketer who served in various management positions in a number of organizations in Zambia. ZAPRA has since convened their sincere condolences to ZIM, the Sinkamba family, and the rest of the industry for this loss. You're watching Camnet News. We'll take another break. We'll be back after the break.
I was born in Mwengwa in a grass-thatched house. I went to school barefoot and then to secondary school. University came, all of these on government bursary, on the sponsorship of the people of Zambia. Many people ask me questions. Why have you continued to seek public office? You've been arrested 15 times. This fight is not about Hakainde. It's about 18 million Zambians who want a better life. I'm standing for the presidency of this country because I know and I believe that this country is so rich and yet its people live in poverty. I am standing for that child to have an opportunity to go to school the way I did myself. It's time for change. Zambians have suffered enough. I'm Hakainde Hichilema. I invite you to take my hand. Together, we will build a better land for every Zambian.
In this fast-paced era of industrial boom and population growth, there is need to invest in smart ways of managing electricity and water consumption and reducing utility billing costs associated with the postpaid billing system. At Savenda Electronics, we manufacture right here in Zambia different types of high-quality smart electricity and water meters to customer specifications. Savenda Electronics water and electricity meters help you monitor your usage and gives notifications such as low units, tampering, low battery, and many other features. These easy-to-use meters makes it easier to buy units even in these COVID times and top up just from the comfort of your space. Favorable contract terms are available to both electricity and water utilities. For more details, get in touch with us on the following numbers: 0956 580 349 or 0977 498 318. Savenda Electronics, the real deal.
Every day for me means hard work. Going to sell my goods at the local market. To get more customers, I have my secret. Oracle Pure Glycerin. It's soft, smooth, and keeps my skin perfect. And my customers know it. Thank you, Oracle, for my perfect skin.
Harry Mwanga Nkumbula International Airport, located just 15 kilometers from the Victoria Falls, is now one of the best and busiest airports that Zambia has. Vote for Edgar Chagwa Lungu and the PF that have brought you change.
Zambia has embarked on an economic journey for individual financial emancipation, empowering its citizens through land acquisition and developing the nation through agriculture. This time, Zambians are coming together, taking it upon themselves with the help of government to develop this great nation by taking individual responsibility and ownership of this great nation. The economic revolution has started. There are thousands of Zambians with a can-do mindset who are resolute, unstoppable, full of confidence and conviction that Zambia's set time of favor for development is now. Don't be left out. This could be the time you have been waiting for. Camnet Television, in conjunction with the United Agrivision Consultancy Limited, will be hosting a national conference on becoming a millionaire through agriculture. Date 1st October and 2nd October 2021. Charges 750 kwacha per person per day, that includes lunch. A limited number of participants through Zoom have also been reserved. You can also be part of the conference from the comfort of your home by registering online via Zoom, joining the people who were born for greatness. Charges for participation via Zoom are only 300 kwacha per person. Time 0730 hours to 17 hours. Registration and confirmation of attendance will take place on the 29th of September 2021. Time 14 hours to 17 hours. Venue the Healing Word Ministries International, the home of Camnet Television in Apex Hill, Kabulonga Road, Lusaka.
Welcome back. We now have international news. 21 men have been executed in Somalia's semi-autonomous state of Puntland after they were convicted of being members of the Islamist militant group AL-SHABAB. They were sentenced by military court in Galkayo and shot by a firing squad. State radio said 18 of the men had carried out assassinations and bombings over more than a decade. As they were being executed, the group attacked a town in another part of Somalia, reportedly killing soldiers. Similar death sentences have been handed down by courts in other parts of Somalia before. This is reported to be the largest number of executions of Al-Shabaab members ever in Puntland. Still in international news, in Florida, a fire is hampering the search for survivors in the rubble of a 12-story building that collapsed on Thursday. At least 5 people have now died and 156 others are still unaccounted for at the Champlain Towers South condominium. As hopes fade for anyone being found alive, it has emerged that concerns were raised about the building years ago.
Somewhere deep beneath this rubble, a fire is making the near impossible task of finding survivors even more difficult.
If you were there the morning after, you didn't see it smoldering like it is now. I mean, the stench is very thick, and it obviously has created, quite an obstacle.
The search for life was briefly paused to allow firefighters to dig a protective fire trench. They still don't know what's burning or if the smoke is toxic, yet they press on.
The biggest thing here is hope. That's what's driving us right now.
In reality, the likelihood of finding more survivors in the rubble diminishes with each passing hour. The agonized families are waiting in a nearby hotel for news of their loved ones who were likely in bed on Thursday when the building collapsed in the middle of the night.
You know, I'm concerned about my mom. I wonder if she was sleeping. I wonder if she got woken up. You know, she didn't call any of us. Her phone's goes to voicemail.
Investigators say it may take months to determine what caused the collapse, but a recently surfaced engineering report on the building may contain some answers. Commissioned by the building's management 3 years ago, the report found major structural damage to the building's steel and concrete support and a major error in construction, trapping water around the underground garage. Multi-million-dollar repairs have been scheduled to begin soon.
We are obviously very interested in all of the evidence that's coming to light, and we're going to be including it in our what happens after the rescue. And in the meantime, we're taking actions to make sure that other buildings are safe.
The county has announced an immediate government review of all older buildings. The picturesque island on which the seaside residences sit is partially man-made and may be sinking, and now is the site of devastation.
It's now time for sports news. NKANA survived relegation after playing to a goalless draw against NAPSA Stars as the first player status committee overturned the result of the Week 32 match between Young Green Eagles Football Club and NKANA Football Club after the latter lodged a protest over the home team's alleged use of an ineligible player who was serving a red card suspension. According to a statement to Camnet News by Football Association of Zambia, Young Green Eagles won the match 3-2 at Kosa Stadium. Prior to the match, the FAR's secretariat had waived the suspension and instead fined Young Green Eagles 5,000 kwacha, which the club paid. Young Green Eagles had their eligible goalkeepers injured while another was on national duty with a Chipolo. Young Green Eagles requested a waiver and were granted to field the suspended player who sat on the bench during the fixture. However, the Player Status Committee, chaired by Lusaka lawyer and former FARS Executive Committee member Lombe Mbalashi and deputized by FARS Copperbelt Chairman and Executive Committee member Patrick Ndlovu, overturned the decision. The committee further awarded the game to NKANA with a 3-0 scoreline. According to a verdict by the Player Status Committee, the use of an ineligible player by Young Green Eagles in the match against NKANA was against the rules. This means that NKANA moves 44 points before the final game against demoted NAPSA Stars Football Club, and Young Green Eagles Football Club moved down from 42 points to 39 points before their game against Lusaka Dynamos Football Club.
We thank God for everything, and it wasn't easy for this team to be where it is, and I thank the supporters, the sponsors, the system that have been behind us, and I'm okay as a coach. Even the boys are too, they're up. I think this is the result we are looking for, and the character of the boys, I think they've shown that they are a team to compete in next year's league, but it wasn't easy for the team. And, as I said, I'm happy as a coach to see the team survive the relegation.
That sporting item brings us to the end of the news, but we'll take a look at the headlines once more. Defiance of COVID-19 guidelines by bar owners annoy health authorities. Fear grips KALINGA-LINGA welders who are at the brink of losing their livelihoods. Government approach to youth empowerment condemned. And international news, Somalia's PUNTLAND region executes 21 Al-SHABAB fighters. And in sports news, NKANA survives relegation as FARS awards KALAMPA 3 points. The Camnet word verse of the day is coming from the book of Leviticus 19, verse 18. Do not take revenge or bear a grudge against members of your community, but love your neighbors as yourself. I am Yahweh. That's all we had for this evening. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo. Bye-bye.